Alrighty. Legend Force. 4-cycle. 20-inch tiller. Heavier than shit. Already started unpacking it. Thing, like I say, is very, very heavy. Basically, that's how it comes. And of course, the sun's coming out. It was cloudy for quite a while, but I had a kit sitting on me. So there's the tires there. Maximum of 40 psi. Comes with your 2 little wrenches, nuts, bolts, all this here, not this. That comes with all the crap you need to put together. Oil, funnel, anyway, thing's been sitting in the van for quite some time. Horseflies bugging around. Once I get it out of the box, then I'll show me putting it together. Yeah, it's going to be freaking sunny. I may have to do it over here in the shade. That might be the smart thing. What do you think? Anyway, it's really a 2-person job, because believe me, this freaking thing is heavy. And you can see, almost thought about trying to strap it with the bucket, lifting this whole frame out. Anyway. Alright, if you notice, you have a bolt right there. Alright, and there's one also on the other side, so you have to unscrew that, because it's screwed through to the frame. You know, the frame of this. Obviously that was finger loose, both of them were. I thought I'd have to use the little wrench they give you, but I did not need to use it. And then you can see there's another one right there. So anyway, that's what's holding it to the shipping frame and away from China. So make sure you undo both those rear ones, and that one there also. I'm not going to show me undoing it, because that's pretty simple, and I don't have a tripod out here. But you can see it right there. So once I get that one out, I already have the 2 back ones, you know, the nuts off. But once I get this one out, then I'll be able to take it off of this frame. Alright, and we'll get a shot of that. Alrighty then. Alright. Here's all your clevis pins, nits, bolts, washers. These ones already come like that. So the first thing you're going to do, you can, well, those pins look awful small, don't they, for that. Anyway, you're going to insert, oh, this is your depth right here, okay? Your shield literally just drops over it. Alright, make sure your flap is, you know, it's hard to do this with one hand. Anyway, the bracket underneath here is already threaded for these bolts. Okay, all the bolts are the same. They're all 8/8, you know, 8/8 bolts, JZ 8/8. So you put 2 there. These ones don't need nuts. All right, because the steel underneath is threaded. These ones here, all right, once you get these ones aligned, you know, you have to put, you can see those ones are not threaded. I don't know if you can see that or not. I need to be more in the shade, son of a gun. So anyway, put your shield on. All these pre-scratches were already there. You can't expect it perfect, come from China. You put a clevis pin in there for your depth gauge. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it for a second while I put these bolts in there, because that's pretty self-explanatory. You know, no big deal there. Alrighty then. you have your very large bracket here. Obviously that fits on there. This baby here just threads on there. And that's going to be how you lock that down. You know, and that's not going to go anywhere. Then there's a large bolt right here. I won't be able to show that because I got to hold the handle up and don't have a tripod out here. But anyway, you can see there's holes right here. You can see the teeth on that. That locks in here, so you can adjust your position. So I'm just going to put it on there, and anyway, I'm just going to put it on there, and then I'll get another shot. I know it would be better if I was filming the whole thing, but it's a little hard to do one-handed. Alrighty, you can see I put the bolt through there. Alright, goes all the way through. Use this to lock it down, which is locked down right now. I'm going to throw the tires on there. Those get held on by two clevis pins, however you want to say it. So it's really, if you notice, yeah, I'm just a weak old man, right? If you notice, it's actually pretty simple to put together. Not a lot to it. And if all else fails, you could probably read the directions. Okay. So it's not much to putting it together. And once again, this is a two-person job, so I'm going to have to fade it for a minute. Just make sure when you do it, your clevis pins here, your holes, make sure you line those up and put your pins in it. I don't like the pins that they give you, to be honest with you. If you look at how thin these are, to me there's way too much play. I'll show you here. In a way, because I already have, where do I put the other one? Yeah, in there, and you can see, you know, how loosely these are in here. So I have extras for my tractors and that I'm going to use, because you can see how flimsy that is. There's way too much movement. I'm not a big fan of a lot of movement, especially when it comes to holding the tire on. So I'm going to fade for a second here, and I'm going to lift it up, put the tires on, and then put the pins in. That sticker there is just telling you to make sure you have enough pressure in it. So, maneuver it. Gotta slide it out a little bit. Not too sure how that's going to work one-handed, but if I lift up on it a little bit, I might be able to get it to hold it up with my leg. Oh, so close, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to... too far. Alright, anyway, I'm going to have to lift up and do it, so I got to pause again. I do apologizing for all the pauses. In a way, you'll notice how this does not go on there all the way. I do have it right. I don't like it like that. But the only way that these holes here will line up with the holes in the shaft is in this position. But I think it's because this is a 20-inch. They're further out. I mean, they're even here, so you don't have to worry about catching anything. But, you know, I really don't like that, because if you look at it... Here, let me turn this. If you look at it... Well, hold on a second. Let me get the one in the tire here. Alright, got the one in the tire. If you can see... I'm assuming you can see, because I cannot see with the reflection of the sun. You know when you're grinding dirt and that, dirt could catch these and pull them right out. So that's a poor design. Okay, now, if you notice, let's pull this one off. Now if you notice, literally that only goes on that axle. It's only on the axle that much, just that little bit. So I do not like that. But that's the only way she goes. You flip it over this way and you can see it'll go on further. Would you think that would be where it would sit, right? But you'd be wrong, because you're nowhere near the pin in the axle. So I'm not a big fan of that. To me, that's kind of, you know, chintzy, because you can see how loose that is. So you can see you're really only on the axle, you know, a little ways. So I'm not a big fan of that. And also what's bad too is the manual that comes with it. I checked the manual just to make sure I wasn't missing something. Like the Chinese gave me the wrong brackets or whatever. But anyway, I don't like that. Not one bit. To me, that should be, you know, further. I should be all the way on there. I mean, you need clearance for there, as you can see. But anyway, I'm not a big fan of that. So anyway, you can see how simple that was to put together. I mean, literally, I mean, well, I still have to put the bumper on it. On the front. Takes 4 bolts. So there's, out of breath. So anyway, we have our these are the shipping ones. So anyway, you see your 4 bolts. So I'll put the bumper on. That's pretty self-explanatory. Very, very simple. A little hard to do and hold the camera at the same time. And obviously it'll fall down, so I got to put it's a two-handed job. And make sure you put oil in it, okay? Because it is shipped without oil. So anyway, there you go. Then I'll fire it up and we'll see how good it works. So, anyway, very simple to put together. Would have been nice to get a continuous camera shot, but I think you got the gist of it, so it's pretty simple. The manual does not show the twines like that. So, probably depending on the model number, they kind of bone you. But anyway, there you go. And then once I fire it up and use it, I'll get some film of that too. So anyway, it is actually very simple to put together. I just don't like those clevis pins the way they're in there. I'll change them out for ones that I use on my tractors.